Welcome to The Clean Slate with your hosts, Daniel Garza and Carson Phillips, providing you with movie news, reviews, and more. Sit back, relax, and don't forget to go to the concessions to get your popcorn and drinks. For your entertainment, this is The Clean Slate Podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Clean Slate Podcast. I'm Carson Phillips. That guy right there, that's Daniel Garza. We're going to war, baby.
Yeah. Trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched Warfare. This is one of the more recent A24 films from Alex Garland, and Ray Mendoza. Yeah, so we're going to have a lot to talk about.
All right, guys, so here is the logline for Warfare. A platoon of Navy SEALs embark on a dangerous mission in Iraq. With the chaos and the brotherhood of war retold through their memories of the event. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I would actually say that this movie is... So it does have it described properly in IMDb. It says docudrama and a war epic and drama and war.
It calls it a docudrama.
Yeah. So it does say action in it, which it does have action. But this movie actually, when you watch it, you find out that it's not really like your kind of classic war movie, like
it's not the typical
Lone
action
Survivor,
film,
those types of movies.
Yeah.
Even though those movies are like
it's not romanticized.
Right, in like a plot beginning
much.
and end. To me, I was talking to Carson about this earlier. This is pretty much like a slice of life war movie. Like, you just experience what it's like on a mission, the intensity all around to be in like hot war. And you feel that, like, dude, no joke, my hands were sweating during this movie. Like,
Yeah. I was jumping.
The first couple of scenes,
I was like taking cover.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So they really do, I think, do well in dramatizing it and building up the intensity of it. And I think all the actors do like a phenomenal job too. Like they like, I was terrified. Like, obviously when you're seeing blown up things like bodies and whatnot, like, you can kind of,
It's not a good time.
Well, for stuff like that, besides horror movies, for stuff like this, I can always take myself out of it. Like, I'm always like, okay, like, I know how they're doing that.
You're just disassociating.
Yeah, well, it's just like I've known too much because I took a lot of like classes where you...
Yeah, how they make the props.
Yeah, and
and
like
the special effects.
Exactly. So with things like that, it's really like easy to take myself out of it. But in general, the intensity of it is just so good, and I think that's like the biggest like props to this movie.
The medical aspects, though, I feel like they did a really good job with those effects.
Crazy though.
They're like pretty.
This
gnarly.
movie is very short, so it's only an hour and a half, which it goes by really quickly. Like, there's some parts
in real time too.
Oh yeah, huh?
Every minute, I think after the like pump up and nighttime scenes,
it's all happening.
I think after that, it's all real time. So every minute that happens for them is a minute for us, which is crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of there's no real plot to this movie. You're just kind of set in the scene of a war. And not even a war, like a battle, just kind of a mission. So yeah, let's get into our likes and dislikes.
I mean, right off the bat,
is it bat or
I
bat?
love this movie. I've heard both. I think off the bat sounds is like more sense because off the bat could be
You
weird.
should say
that
off
mean
the
something
bat,
weird.
and I'll say off the bat, and somebody can correct us.
Someone will correct us. If this was TikTok, they'd correct me so quick.
Man.
But yeah, I think right off the back.
There you go.
No, it's off the bat, dude. I think it's off the bat.
Okay.
All right, from the jump. I think the sound design is what really stood out to me the most.
Yeah.
It was like expert level. Alex Garland's previous film, Civil War, also had really amazing sound design, especially with the gun sound effects. I remember like that freaked me out, like in theaters. This is like that ramped up to like, I don't know, 1,000. Yeah. Like it's way more intense than Civil War. They like took the realism to another level. So I thought that was really like amazing, especially when you have like the scenes with the jets and the tanks, the Bradleys. I think they had some really cool stuff they were doing there.
Yeah.
Especially I watched in IMAX, so it was like rocking my body,
That's
dude.
crazy.
And then like the freaking like intro music and stuff was like deafening. I was like right next to a speaker. I could see the speaker and I was like, oh no. Yeah. So it was like shaking the theater. Which, side note, the IMAX near me has recliner seats.
Nice.
And I didn't know that.
That's like next
I'm
level
not gonna
for
say what
IMAX.
theater. I'm gonna gatekeep.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
good.
I'm not telling you
That's
guys
good.
where that is. Mainly so you don't find me. Yeah, so I thought that was really good. The cinematography I thought was really good too. It's not like oh, it's gonna blow you away, but like they did a good job of keeping it realistic without being too stylized, I guess. Because like All Quiet on the Western Front, that was like the last war film I think we watched for the pod. Kind of had more stylized cinematography, I think. Which is, that movie's amazing too, but this kind of felt more like claustrophobic, more put you in that same space as the characters. And I guess just like the realism and the acting, I think, is the last thing I really want to touch on is like there's certain characters who get injured in this film and they're just like screaming. And at first I was like, oh, that sucks because I like these actors. But the performance they give in that and like this like horrific like scenes, I think they do such a good job of keeping it like not just them screaming in pain, because they could have just done that, but there was like a little bit more like subtle moments like oh, am I the one who's injured more, like am I the one who's really messed up, like stuff like that. Like you could see like the terror in their eyes and they did a good job
Right.
with
It
that.
almost towed the line of kind of like in horror movies when like the girl in the horror movie just screams the entire time because she's scared, or like what's her name, Kristen Dunst in Spider-Man, how she's just screaming the entire like all three movies.
Yeah.
It kind of gets like to that point where you're like, is it gonna be like this now? Is, you know, Joseph Quinn gonna be
Hey, spoilers.
Is he going to be screaming the rest of the movie? But it's actually, there's a lot of good dialogue in between those parts that saved it from that.
I will say the screaming did bring like a hush over the theater. Like my theater was dead after the movie, dead silent until the dude next to me started talking to me. But it was like crazy. And then like I'll also say the movie's like really emotional. It's not just immersive, but I feel like you will feel kind of emotional, at least if you're human after the movie.
At least if you can feel anything.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was great. What are your takeaways here? Your likes?
So likes is that I definitely came into this thinking, right, that it was going to be like a Lone Survivor or Covenant, those types of movies that have like a really heavy like plot, like traditional plot. And this movie, I think, kind of like what I already said, you really kind of get into the like the difference in like what feels like reality of just sitting and waiting and then like analyzing what they're doing the entire time. Like the sniper, like you take a lot of the like vision from the sniper and what he's seeing and everything. And to be honest, the entire time I'm like,
that was intense,
I was like,
dude.
how is this guy not tired right now? Like I was thinking
he was like sweating.
Yeah, he's
and, like,
sweating, but that's also it could just be Iraq.
Just because it's Afghanistan or Iraq.
So there's that. I think the action was just intense. To be fair, well, I'll say that for a dislike.
Okay.
But
did you feel like you were in Sniper Elite? Were you like thinking of
no,
that?
I felt like I was in a mission.
literally
like Call of Duty.
Bro, I saw like you know how in Sniper Elite it does the like freaking like lens thing, like the reflection. I was like, oh, there's a sniper there. It's like if that was Daniel and I would get this fool.
He'd be cooked. No, Carson and I have been playing Sniper Elite together because it's co-op, and we've been playing like through 2 of them. Just a lot of fun.
2 tours, baby.
2 tours. We've seen it all. We know what warfare is like because we've been there. Anyway, no, but I thought it was like, I don't know if you've touched on this yet. I know we both talked about it during, like just our off podcast conversations, but like, how the city was actually just built for this movie is like such a cool thing to like do, because a lot of the times, right, you're either on a set of like a studio or you're, you know, kicking people out of their actual homes for a movie.
Well, and then one of the directors was there, and then after the movie, they kind of show like some of the characters or the real life people visiting
Yeah.
the set. And I wonder how that felt, like revisiting a place that was recreated,
Yeah.
like brick for brick, basically. Like that's got to be a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that, like, really, there's
Traumatizing or
only about
re-traumatizing.
one house that they're actually in the entire time. So the rest of it could just be, like, right, you know,
Yeah.
how, like, in, like, at the back lots, like, they're just, literally nothing besides the front and sides of the building, and then everything else is empty.
So they just had to make the inside, and then but they had to make all the roofs, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, but you think they can probably get away with a lot, because a lot of times when they're showing wide angles of the city, like, you don't actually see a lot of the city often.
No, only in that helicopter
Exactly,
view,
in which
and that's
is,
all
like,
in.
Like the thermal cameras.
That could be digitized.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So
yeah.
my guess is that they were able to
What was the budget?
20
do you know?
million. So right now, this movie
Yo.
just came out last weekend. So we wanted to jump on this
Wow.
pretty quickly, but the budget was estimated around 20 million. Right now, opening weekend, it's only done 8 million. So we're hoping that it
No.
has better weeks to come in the next like 3 weeks.
It's got legs.
I think so. But on top of
I
like
think they should have released this over like Memorial Day or something.
Minecraft, I don't know how many legs it's gonna have, and especially next weekend we have The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. It might.
Do you think that's gonna do numbers?
I think it'll probably do better.
That's gonna be a more traditional action
Yeah.
film too.
Yeah, exactly, especially when you have Ben Affleck coming on like your Instagram saying, "Hey, do your taxes," but also, I'm an accountant.
Watch
Yeah,
Accountant
and
too.
you're like, what? Okay.
You're like, this
Why
is
are we
great
pushing
advertising?
pay your taxes for a movie?
Yeah, don't pay your
Yeah, no.
taxes. Well, I mean, what?
Just kidding. Anyway,
I paid mine early.
so yeah, us too. So yeah, overall, I think it's a phenomenal movie. I'm gonna be pretty like upfront about this. I would most likely give it an 8.5, 9 out of 10. So probably about a 4 out of 5. It's
I actually haven't ranked it yet on Letterboxd. I'm probably gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5
Yeah.
though. I think it's probably one of the better war films I've seen in a long time. It's weird that war is like a genre of
Yeah.
film. Side note, I know that's kind of weird, but especially like the anti-war films, I think this is like a strong contender for one of the best, to be honest.
for sure.
So do you have any final takeaways of like, I guess, likes on this film?
Okay, so I think some of the coolest things that like happen at the okay, so the beginning of the film's kind of funny.
Call on me. It's been stuck in my head, dude. It was bumping, dude.
Yeah, but like
I was vibing.
I think it's really, I liked that you don't get a lot of answers. Like you don't get the answers for when like what's their mission really. You don't get answers for like
Yeah.
what blew up and started like, or like even what set them off to like know that they were there.
Because we didn't know for sure if it was an IED
Yeah.
grenade or what, right?
Yeah, that
we didn't
too.
really find out.
Yeah, and I was thinking like the part where they're taking him to like the medevac or whatever they call it, and they're like carrying him, and all of a sudden, like it just, poof, I like
yeah.
verbally was like, whoa. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude.
I was just not
Well,
expecting
that first
it.
grenade through the little hole in
Yeah,
the
that
wall,
too.
I was like, is that a grenade? And then
Yeah, and then
I was like, oh,
but you
God,
got
that's
to
a grenade.
too. Like that's probably what it really is. They're just
That's real,
sitting
yeah.
there, and then all of a sudden you're just like, and you're like, and then you
Bro,
don't
and there's
have
like one
time.
dude trying to pee, and then a grenade shows up.
Yeah,
You're like, what
exactly.
do you do?
You just cover your.
Did that guy survive?
Yeah, I think so. You know, well, okay,
I lost track of like 2 characters.
yeah,
I will say. Well, maybe that goes into a dislike.
yeah. Let's go into dislikes unless you have anything else.
I just have a fact that I came across on IMDb just now.
Okay.
When we had our technical
Okay.
difficulties. That I guess when they were filming the scene where he has to pull him back into the house, when Ray does,
Yeah,
that the real life Ray, because he was there, was like, I guess, triggered by that. And so like, I guess Alex Garland had to take over directing it just because it like brought the real Ray back to that scene because it was just recreated so
wait.
well.
Is Ray Mendoza like a? Did he serve in the military or something?
Yeah, he is the character Ray in this. They're the same person.
What? No. Oh,
Yeah, dude.
Like
Ray Mendoza
Ray Mendoza
is in this movie. He is a character in this movie.
is not.
He is.
He doesn't play Ray, because Ray Mendoza's a
No,
white guy.
not the director is Ray Mendoza.
Oh yes, no. I'm talking about the character Ray.
Yeah, they're the same person though, but they're not the same actor. He didn't play himself in the movie. Is what you're trying to get at, right?
So Ray Mendoza is Ray in the movie,
He doesn't play himself. Someone else
right?
plays him.
But I'm saying he is the like.
Yeah, they're the same. Yes.
So he was like he went through this.
Yeah. So that's why Alex Garland is
Whoa.
like directing with him to keep it like professional in the film sphere, and then he's there to keep it like realistic, basically.
Whoa. Okay, I did not know that. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. So while they were filming, it brought him back to that space, and he was like, "Yo, Alex, you need to take over for a little bit," because it was like a lot for him.
Okay. Well, getting into our dislikes, there's not many, but there are some. Because right, no movie is perfect. Will Poulter, for me, I'll start on this one. Is
Okay.
I can just hardly ever take him serious in movies. So
Why? I don't understand this.
okay, we've been watching Will Poulter since Narnia, when he was in that, and then he goes on to Maze Runner.
Black Mirror.
In Black Mirror, I can agree that I loved him in Black Mirror.
Okay, interesting.
But now putting him into a military setting, and
You couldn't do
I
it?
couldn't. It wasn't believable for me, because he was just like, well, okay. And then also, what is the what's the movie where they go to like Mexico to pick up drugs in the RV?
We Are the Millers.
Yeah, We Are the Millers. And
That movie probably harmed him for you. Harmed his career for you.
100%. He's hilarious in it because he plays the stupid like neighbor kid. But now he's like, right, there's that one line where that guy comes in and he's like, "Hey, are you guys good? Are you guys good?" And then Will Poulter's like, "Rookie stuff." And I'm like, how is that a rookie thing to check on you? And also, it just seemed like such a like, oh, we have to put in this classic line of there's a rookie here with us and we need to make fun of him, like, right, the hazing. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, when it came to the hazing, I thought that the hazing in like Lone Survivor was a lot better, and seemed more realistic than him just making a side comment to Ray being like, "Rookies." Am I right? And I'm just
I mean, there could have been more hazing maybe outside of, this one event, I guess. But that's interesting.
I just didn't think it was
Your Will
necessary
Poulter take.
to put that line in. Oh,
Include
and
it.
then,
Yeah, especially because of what happens to that character.
yeah, exactly. So last thing,
If I was like rewriting my history a little bit for a movie, I'd be like, let's leave that out. I don't want him to know we made fun of him right before his legs got blown off.
spoiler, dude, come on.
Sorry.
Anyway, okay, and then last one, it was just, I feel like this is an Alex Garland move, but the
Ooh, interesting.
right, we already know he's coming off of Civil War. Civil War to me was such a flop.
I guess we did an episode. I know your thoughts
Yeah,
on
it
Civil
was like
War.
6 out of 10. It's not that great of a movie.
I just loved it. I love that movie.
However, so I don't know if it was this, but there was some shady CGI in Civil War, just like there was some shady CGI in Warfare. When
What
the
CGI?
the whatchamacallit, the Show of Force, the Show of Force.
Oh, really? I thought it looked good.
No. The plane looks cool, but the dust when it kicks up looks really, really fake. And it took watch it be real. They're like, no,
It might be.
doesn't.
I mean, dude, it's got to be better. If it
No.
is CGI, it's got to be better CGI than most big
Sure.
budget like action films.
I don't
like
know.
freaking Marvel
Right when
and
I saw it,
stuff.
I was like, oof. And like that was the only thought I had on it. It didn't like remove me from the movie or anything like that, but that was like the first note where
Interesting.
it took me out for a second of just being like, oh, that's weird looking.
Yeah.
But because I know that planes can actually do that. I like right. You've seen clips on social of like planes doing.
I
that,
bet
and
you
then-
they used a real plane.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna look into it now. But it's
I don't know
not-
if they could though. Could you do that on a closed set? Like, is that safe?
I don't think it would be with cameras around and
Well, especially after Twilight Zone, the movie,
yeah.
and helicopters killing actors. I
Yeah.
mean, a plane would be much worse.
Exactly. So, and I also don't think they could afford it. Well, on a $20
Well, and then
million
like
budget.
what Top Gun, they used real planes, and that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like we would have heard if they used real planes.
I don't know. Again, it's not like a huge like, oh, I can't do this, but it like those are
Dude, takes it down a half
the
star.
main three things that I was like, this is the only thing I didn't like about the movie, and if that's it, I am okay with that because I'm probably gonna purchase this movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting
yeah, I
the movie
love
poster
this.
for my office. I was like, dude, it's like one of those.
I'm waiting for the A24 Blu-ray, special edition,
Okay.
because more of those are coming out, and I'm like, I only have 2 of them, so I gotta get.
Okay.
Gotta tell the wife for Christmas, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
All right. What are your dislikes, if you have any?
Yeah, I really only have one dislike, and it's not really my dislike. It's just a general issue that I think could happen for some people watching this.
Okay.
Is that it doesn't really, like we said, it doesn't really focus on a heavy plot, which is fine by me. I love that kind of style of filmmaking.
Right.
But it also doesn't have much character development going on. Like, you can see hints of it here and there.
Sure.
But there's not much character. So, like, there's no plot, really, and there's no character growth or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think if you're looking for, like, a story, you're going to be maybe a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I think of this movie more as an experience
Mm-hmm.
or, like, very like a extreme realistic take on a film, I guess.
Yeah.
Even more so than most slice of life, because, like,
Well, slice of life,
you really
you
are
do
just
have
thrown into it.
character development, but it's
Yeah.
just literally taking a section of
Someone's day to day.
yeah, and then us being right there because. Again,
I guess a
they
true
didn't
military
amp it
slice
up.
of life would be like, oh, let's put gasoline in the Humvee.
Right.
Let's,
Well, this is like a slice of life of like a mission, but like
yeah.
they don't amp it up like crazy to where you're like, oh, this is like
No.
like no guys are taking 2 guns and shooting them like that, right? Like it's
That'd be sick, though.
but like everything's all methodical. I loved it when the second like troop comes in and to like help the first
Dude.
like the group.
That was the only scene that felt like obviously that actually happened, but that's the only scene that felt like, oh, something's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Like, okay, cool. Like we're good. Like let's fight now.
I also felt like I was being rescued. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this guy's competent.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say Will Poulter. Obviously, I haven't served in the military,
Right, yeah,
but Will
obviously.
Poulter's character made me so angry
That he was a crap.
when he was like, yeah, that he just like checked out. I'm like, dude, your boys need you.
yeah, he's
man.
I can't do this. His voice got so funny. Like I get that.
What was? Do you know what that caused? That was it.
It
Just
might
like,
have been because like he like an actual like shockwave like hits all of him, and so like he could have had ruptured like like
something got messed up.
yeah organs or something.
I was wondering because like he was already like when the grenade went off, he was shaken up.
Yeah, but then when the freaking
So it was like immediate like shell shock, I guess.
yeah probably, but yeah from that point on I was like Will's kind of irrelevant in this movie, and I loved actually Ray was honestly one of my favorite characters.
He's the only one that we kind of get some character development
Yeah,
from,
true.
too, and that makes sense because he's, the one that's directing this, so his development I think kind of happened. You could see him like step up, I guess, as a leader
Yeah.
in some ways.
Exactly. He looks so young.
but it's
though,
very
too.
mild.
That's the craziest thing is
He's like a baby.
when I'm like looking at it, when I'm like watching the movie,
Yeah, they're younger than we would have.
they're
been.
younger than we would have
Like we
been.
would,
And
yeah.
it's like that's reality. Is like you get these guys that are like between 18 and 25 that are fighting for our country.
thrown into like a horrible
and
situation.
Exactly. And they're like that's what I think it depicted so good is like the first scene is like you get all the camaraderie of like boys being together, and then you're just immediately thrown into it and you're just like
Yeah.
regret.
When they're trying to be like professional too, like methodical.
Yeah.
So like that training kicks in, but they're still kids. you know?
Exactly. So it's really sad. Obviously shout out to our troops. I feel like we don't want to glaze over that because this is
No, this happened, man.
yeah, there's definitely things that we just don't even think about whenever people are out fighting for our country. So, okay, any other dislikes besides that one?
That's really it. Like, I loved this movie. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's an
really good.
excellent film. Probably one of the best Alex Garland films in a while
Yeah, because Civil War was
since X. Like, honestly, Ex Machina.
no Men.
Yeah,
Men
what has he
was
done
weird.
since? What, did you like Men? You didn't like Men? You know what's crazy though is I kind of like have a guilty pleasure for that movie
Yeah,
now.
I kind of want to revisit it.
And I liked Civil War.
Hated it.
So I think I like his films. It's just those ones weren't perfect. This feels a little bit closer to perfect than.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't like Men so much. I mean, not Men. Civil War so much. I wanted it to be more.
I liked it, but it wasn't what was advertised. I'll say that.
Okay, thank you.
He is writing. What's him call it? What's that movie? 28 Years Later. I think he's writing it
Oh, cool.
because he wrote the original 28 Days Later.
Right.
He didn't direct it. He just wrote it, but
Yeah, he's like a big writer. Writes things.
that was his. Yeah, he got his start in writing.
Yeah.
Oh, and he did Annihilation. I forgot about that.
I was going to say, but I don't know. IMDb gives it 6.8.
I don't like that movie.
I
Hot
hate
take.
Annihilation.
The film.
Didn't we
The
see it
film bros
together?
might. I think I watched it with my dad,
Oh, okay.
but he did write the remake of the Judge Dredd movie or Dredd.
Yep.
That movie is awesome. If you guys haven't seen that,
Wait, what were you saying? A hot take?
it's a good movie. Well, my hot take is that Annihilation was bad.
Oh, okay.
Film bros love that movie. They're like, this is the best. This is so freaking good.
All right, cool.
But it kind of feels like, in a sidebar, we'll have an Annihilation Day. We'll talk about it.
We should
have
just
thoughts.
we should actually just like do
Hot take day.
Yeah, we should just like do like popular movies that we just hate. Honestly,
We should be like film bro movies that actually suck.
yeah, that's what we should do. Honestly, to get popular is just call out
Part
people.
one.
Call out people that are bigger than us. so
Holy,
we
this
can
actor has a
track
huge forehead. Sorry.
them. That was crazy. Okay, cool. Well, guys, Warfare is still in theaters. Go support it. It's such a great movie. It's not really for a
IMAX,
cause
if
or
you can.
anything, but it is really intense. So be prepared, be warned in that. It is graphic, I would say, to some people. I didn't think it was overly graphic.
Yeah, if you have, it's not super gory. It's just the way they do it is more grounded. So if you have any kind of like trauma or PTSD, maybe
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
cautiously.
exactly. But anyway, so yeah, guys, that is Warfare, and we are going to be finishing up next week with our movies that have come out so far. I like how actually the last two movies that we picked are movies that come out this month or have come out this month. So
Yeah.
there hasn't been a lot.
Sick.
So next week we'll be reviewing. I know we said Mickey 17.
Minecraft.
Well, we said Mickey 17. We switched that out for Minecraft now, so be prepared for Minecraft. That movie has taken the world by storm, so we are going to be reviewing that movie next week. But until then, guys, follow us on our social channels, like, subscribe on YouTube, and then go subscribe to us too, wherever you can listen to a podcast. We really appreciate all your support, all your views, and we will see you next week for another episode. Peace.
Peace, y'all. That's a clean slate.